the guy that may end up being the star of this Super Bowl, we'll see how it plays out. But arguably, I think
Or
clearly the greatest quarterback in the league right now. He's certainly in that discussion for those that don't think it's obvious. Patrick Mahomes was in the news for this reason. Here's what his owner said today about his contract situation.
Chiefs Chairman Clark Hunt said, quote, "There will be a right time sometime in the next 12 to 15 months to extend Patrick. And when I say the right time, I mean the right time for both the player and the club. I don't want to say necessarily it has to be this offseason, but I will say that it's a priority to get him done. I hope Patrick is here for his entire career, and that's going to be our goal," end quote.
Rob, what do you think?
I think he's right on the money, and it's no disrespect. You got a window open. You got a quarterback under market value, way under market value for his talent, and these are what you dream for, is to have a situation where you could stockpile talent, pay those other guys, win a championship or two if you're fortunate enough, Chris, and then you pay your quarterback. Then you have to pull back some of those skill positions, and you got to let people go and move on, and then try to, rework some
or
stuff.
It might be, to your point, and I think you're right on the money, maybe if you win a Super Bowl or two, guys are willing to come for a little less.
Yeah,
they
that
wanna
might
play
happen
with Pat Mahomes.
because they won and they like what they're part of. So I don't see what the rush is, and I don't think it's any disrespect. This is the contract that he has, and you try to utilize it as long as you can. So I don't think he misspoke or said anything disrespectful, needs to run out. It's the same reason why Dak Prescott's not signed yet. You don't have to sign him yet. They could take their time, right? And that's how they were able to get Amari Cooper. And the talent and all those other guys that got signed, right? They paid Ezekiel Elliott the highest contract for a running back. So they have all that stuff going. So I think that's a fair statement. If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm not worried. I'm going to get paid eventually. You know what I mean? So my day will come. And you know what, Chris? If it takes a little longer, I get more money.
Right. I mean, they're already talking about him getting a 5-year deal worth $200 million, which honestly I think is a low figure. I'm not saying that I think he deserves more, but I'm just saying in this climate where you got a guy, and obviously people know I'm a fan of Dak Prescott's, but Dak Prescott isn't close to as good as Patrick Mahomes. And if they're talking about, and I don't think Dak will get 40, but if his group is even thinking that's realistic, if they're throwing that out, if that's been affiliated with Dak Prescott, $40 million a year, then I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes is getting more than that. So I think it's going, and to your point, if they wait another year, then it's going to be well over $40 million a year.
And it's different, and maybe there's a difference depending on what happens over the next 2 years as well. Now, in his defense, I'm talking about Mahomes. What if they lose the Super Bowl? What if next year is a disaster? They have some injuries, things don't look good. And then, God forbid, the ultimate worst thing is he gets hurt. So if you're a player, you want to be signed up as soon as possible. So I get why he would be pushing to have a deal done.
Well,
but I understand why the Chiefs are doing what they're doing.
To your point, as much as I agree with the logic that you spewed, and if that's what the Chiefs are thinking, that's logical. It makes sense. However, in my book, this is all about what Pat Mahomes wants. If Pat Mahomes wants a new contract after this season, then pay Pat Mahomes. If he's willing to wait, if you explain to him, look, Pat, this year you made $4.5 million. Next year you make 5.2. You're obviously the best quarterback in the world. But with you making $5 million a year, we can go out and get so-and-so, so-and-so. We can pay Tyreek Hill to keep him here with you for the next 5 years. We can pay Travis Kelce, or, whatever the case may be. We can get the skilled players around you to help you win Super Bowls. And he buys it, Pat, and I don't mean buy it in that he would be having the wool pulled over his eyes, but if he's with it, he's like, you know what, I understand that. I trust that I'll remain healthy. I'm willing to play it out and then get paid next year. Then that's great. Everybody's happy, and you solidify your skill position players around Mahomes, and you go ahead and try to win the Super Bowl again if you do it this year. But if Mahomes is like, you know what, that all sounds good, but I have won an MVP, I have either won a Super Bowl or gotten us to a Super Bowl, the first in the franchise's history.
No, not the first.
First in 50 years. I'm sorry.
Remember,
50,
they went.
yeah,
I think
early
they went
on.
they went to the first two. I think
weren't they with the Packers?
Right.
Yeah.
The Chiefs went to the first two.
Yeah. So the first time in 50 years to the Super Bowl. I would like to be paid now. I've been playing, obviously, on a contract that I've outplayed now. I want my money now. Then you know what? Pay him. Don't play hardball, because the fact is you do have good skill position players as it is right now. So I think it all boils down to what Pat Mahomes wants, and you need to keep him happy. Don't create a problem where there isn't one.
I don't think there would be a problem, because this is the CBA that they agreed to and what he's playing under. So you know that going in, that you don't have any power.
He had nothing to do with creating this CBA.
No, but that's what you agreed. But that's what you agreed.
Yeah, but he didn't. I mean, it was set in stone when he came into the league.
When you sign a contract, you agree.
Well, of course you do, because you got no choice.
Well, but that's my point. So that.
But I'm just saying, if he says to them, I want a new contract, I'm saying all that he's done for that franchise, pay him.
No, and I would say no. And I would say to him, Tom Brady didn't take the highest contract. Tom Brady, and he won 6 Super Bowls.
Really? Now you're praising Tom Brady.
No, I'm telling you what I would do if I was the Chiefs. I think Tom Brady was crazy not to get paid.
Then maybe Pat Mahomes says, okay. Then I'll play another year, and I'll give it my all. And maybe we'll win another Super Bowl, but you aren't committed to me, then I may not be committed to you. When other teams come calling, I'm going to listen. You can lock me up now, I want to stay in Kansas City, or you can run the risk of losing me. And again, Rob, I'm saying if, because I agree with your logic, but I'm saying if Patrick Mahomes is adamant, I want my money now, you pay the man. Unless he's asking for something, that's just beyond reason.
Yeah, I hear your point, but I think you got to look at it in football because of the ramifications of paying people before you have to. If there weren't the restrictions and what it limits you at doing and what it hits your cap hit, if it wasn't about that stuff, Chris, then yes, I would pay him.
What if he gets you a Super Bowl now?
What if he doesn't get you a Super Bowl?
You're still a great team.
No, but I'm just saying, okay, but say he loses. Say he has the worst game of his career and they lose. Now what? I'm supposed to do.
I don't know when the last time I saw him have a bad game.
So when should I? So I should bet. Well, in Detroit, he had a bad game.
What did he do? What were his numbers in
Detroit?
He had
no touchdown.
That's a bad game.
That's a bad game for him.
Really?
Yeah, bad game.
That shows you how good he is.
5 touchdowns is
That shows you how good he is.
I mean, no touchdowns.
Because some of the best quarterbacks all of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league have had games with no touchdowns.
Yeah, but you asked me when did he have a bad game?
How many turnovers did he have?
That was a bad game.
How many INTs?
I don't know. I think he had 2. It was a
check that out, Rob G. Rob's talking.
That was against Detroit.
He's just throwing out.
No, it was
junk.
Against Detroit. He had
this year.
He had no touchdowns. You don't remember the game?
No, maybe, but I'm just saying.
You don't remember that game?
No
Early
touchdowns.
This year, he had no touchdowns.
Yeah, but he may not have had a bad game. They won? All right, then it wasn't a bad game.
Yeah, it was a bad game.
No,
for him.
It wasn't. They won. What happened to short menu? My goodness, you created the short menu. And you contradicted 3 days a week.
No, I don't. You asked me a question, and I told you. You said, when was the last time he had a bad game?
Anything to fit your narrative.
Right? That's what he said. Is that not a bad game? Against the Lions, no touchdowns?
I'm going to start calling you Wendy. Because you blow with the wind,
I'll
man.
blow with
To and fro. However the wind blows you.
I don't make hamburgers and fries. Oh, you said Wendy's.
Wimpy. For those who are under 60, Rob was referring to Popeye's cartoon and Wimpy.
No, not Wimpy. Wendy's.
Wimpy was the one with the hamburgers.
I know, but I was saying Wendy's, like the hamburger. Come on.
Okay. Anyway.
We're not going that far back.
All right, thankfully. Rob G, you got the numbers?
I do. 24 of 42, 315 yards.
Hold on. Let him finish. 24 of 42.
315, no touchdowns, no picks, but he did engineer the game-winning drive.
Okay.
Come
it was
on.
a bad game.
That was his. That's how good he is.
Rob,
this is
help me out.
This is what I'm saying, Rob Parker.
24 for 42. What is that percentage-wise? That's not
it's
good.
It's about 58%. I'm off the top of my head.
Is that good in the NFL?
57. Good job.
They won.
Is that a good percentage?
And he engineered the game-winning drive.
Is that a good percentage of
It's not
completion?
horrible.
That's a bad game.
He
for
didn't
him.
do it for a career. Okay,
No, I said he had a bad game.
That shows you.
That he had a bad game.
That shows you what have I been saying? I've been using terms like Jordan-esque.
You said he was going to have 40 touchdowns. Did he have 40 touchdowns this year? He didn't have close to 40 touchdowns.
Finish?
No, I'm just saying. You said he was going to get 40.
Can you shut your pie hole for a minute so I can talk? He got hurt.
No, but that's
so
not the reason.
So you going to try to hold me to that one too?
Yes, because he's still – how many games did he play?
He
only
missed
2
and a half at least.
2 games.
2.5 games. That could have been 7. That could have been 11 touchdowns.
All right, and he still would have been short.
Games.
And he still would have been short.
No, not with 11.
Yeah, he only had 28, didn't he?
Whatever the case. Anyway.
I was right.
Anyway.
He had like 28 touchdowns.
You just backed up my claims of Jordan-esque and GOAT potential.
I would not pay
when the
him.
only bad game you could point to was one where he threw for 300-plus yards, no interceptions, and engineered the game-winning drive.
No touchdowns.
My goodness. When Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw for no touchdowns, you praise him.
We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
You're darn skippy because there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Mahomes.
That's the only thing you
pay the man.
I would not
pay the man.
This is you wanted. You also wanted
and maybe
the Cowboys.
You'd lose him.
You also wanted the
No,
Cowboys.
we ain't talking about Aaron Rodgers. We ain't talking about the Cowboys.
You wanted the Cowboys to pay Dak after 3 good games against 3 bad teams. You remember that?
Hold on,
He's elite.
How are we talking?
Elite. He elite. You should pay him. The Cowboys are crazy. It's only going to cost you more later.
How are we?
Hold on. Elite.
I don't
elite.
Why are you
They
flouting?
didn't even make the playoffs. He wasn't a Pro Bowler.
Why are you flouting the rules?
I'm not.
1 minute you're telling me we don't talk about.
We're not
talking about Aaron Rodgers.
You are.
I'm inconsistent.
Yes, you are.
You the man that created the short menu, and now you contradict it every 3 days. You're the McHoat, the McCoat, the most inconsistent of all time. And I agreed with your logic earlier. But I'm just saying, if Mahomes is adamant, I want my money now. Thank you. That's a nice sentiment. But I might get injured. To your point, what if Mahomes is like, look, I have a chance to make life-changing, generation-changing money. This is a sport where every snap you can get hurt, and I would like the security of having a long-term contract this summer.
I would say
you pay the man.
Be like Tom Brady, whose wife was making money. Wasn't your dad a Major League Baseball player? Y'all had money in your life. You don't need money today.
You really would say that.
I would just.
Why don't you just kick him out of the franchise? Why don't you just trade him, Rob Parker?
Wasn't your dad a Major League player?
Enough of this foolishness.
What's happening, y'all? It's Chris Broussard.
I'm Rob Parker.
And we are
The Odd Couple. Check us out as often as you can on YouTube.
And always remember, I'm Oscar, and he's Felix.
Oh, man. Are you serious?